All right. Happy Sunday. It is now a week from Nano, and are you ready? I'm not, but I was on the Nano site because I will attempt to use it. But I'm just going to be using it for like one project. I'm just going to put all my words into that one project, even if I'm working in multiple things. I was on the Nano site and attempting to update the cover because the Project Moon Phase is supposed to be a paranormal romance, I think. I'm pretty sure at this point, based on everything that I've sort of put together. But so it has this like giant hot air balloon made out of like in the shape of a heart or something. And so I was trying to figure out a better cover, even just like a working temporary type thing. So I went over to Canva and created a couple of mock-ups. So I think I figured out which one I want to use, but y'all let me know. I will share the screen and sort of show you what I'm working with in regards to the cover. So let me make sure y'all can see that. So that is option number one. It's sort of the black and white vibe. It doesn't have the moon though on it, even though like the moon is not necessarily really integral, other than I'm using the moon phases to inspire the story. So this might be slightly more appropriate by the time I get the book drafted, not sure. But anyway, so that's option one. And then I have option two, which I'm just going to go ahead and say is my current favorite, just because of the gradient from blue to white. I like it. I like it a lot. It's pretty simple, not too flashy. I don't know. I kind of like this one. And then I have another black and white that has the range of the moon phases. And I don't know, I could change this font to be more minimalistic like the second one. But what do you guys think? Which ones do you like? I've put this particular, I've put the second one up on Nano as my sort of mock-up. So it looks, where are we? The Nano site. So I've got, so that's what it looks like when it's kind of tilted and everything. And then it's got the version there. So yeah, I think number two is my favorite. So that's what I'm going with at the moment, but I don't know, I may change my mind again later because that's how I do. So let's see, Sarah says, ooh, yes, I like option two. Option three is also nice, but two would be your favorite. Yes, number two. London likes number one. Yeah, so I like number one a great deal, but I think number two is my favorite for the moment. But like I said, like depending on how the draft goes and how far off of the how well, I don't know, it depends, because I am not planning to have the moon phases be like a super integral part of the plot as of right now. That may change. We don't know. But Penumbra is here. Hello, at two other streams as well, but we'll jump over as quick as you can. No problem. Jumping here and there is quite acceptable to me. Petra says, hello, gonna grab an adult beverage and settle in to write some words. I have had coffee. I'm working on my first 2 cups of water, but I also have a soda. I was going to say Coke, but it's not Coke. So anyway, carbonated beverage. London is here. Hello. Lizzie, hello. Finished your book last night. Yay. Congratulations. That's exciting. This is your pen pal one, right? Let me know if I'm correct or wrong. You will be working on your homecoming romance next. That's exciting. Yay, Lizzie. London is still working on your characters. You have about 5 left. Excellent. Lizzie will also be listening to writing podcasts. You literally just got into them yesterday. Okay, so I was looking through some of my old bullet journals, the ones that I kind of half did, and I had a list of writing podcasts, specifically writing podcasts, and I only, for whatever reason, transferred over like 2 of the names to my current bullet journal, so I have not been listening to them. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go and listen to a whole bunch more writing podcasts because I never got around to listening to them. So Lizzie, let us know which one you started with and if you are, or which ones you are enjoying the most. Sarah is here. Hello, hello. Lizzie says, I need to do so much research on Homecoming to get some ideas, but thankfully you know that the book starts on a Monday at least, which is the beginning of Homecoming week. Yes. Unless you are planning to have your characters be a part of the like student council or the volunteer committee to help decorate the halls, because the decoration of the halls has to be done essentially on Friday, because there's nobody going to come in at like 3 a.m. on a Monday and put it together. So it has to be done and ready for the full week. So there you go. Hannah is here. Hello. Occasionally schools will let, as long as a teacher is chaperoning, they will let students in to help decorate during the weekend if the school approves of it. So yeah. So that's a thing, in case you needed some teacher-esque view of Homecoming. But Hannah is here. Hello. Homecoming was interesting as a teacher. It's very different as a teacher than it was as a student. Very, very different. Sarah says, I am building your novel's set pieces in The Sims. Ooh, you like having visuals, and you may also be feeling a bit of procrastination today. I think creating a visual is productive. You have my permission. It's fun to see your characters interact with each other. Yes, absolutely. Devin is here. Hello. Welcome. Elizabeth is here. Hello. Welcome. Cachet is here. Hello. I hope you get to feeling better soon. I know that sometimes you just need those breaks, though. So the brain moment, it needs some time to percolate the ideas. So yes. Lizzie says, going to be coming up with some book titles for 3 stray ideas, though you already have one idea, which was Remove the Masks. I'm not sure if you should use it because people will crack jokes about it. Oh, because of the pandemic? Possibly. Penumbra is rereading the first 2 books in the series of your Nano work in progress so you can get into the mindset of the world. Excellent. So Homecoming is essentially kind of like halfway through the football season, through the American football season. So halfway through the fall semester, there is a Friday that they pick that is usually a game night, and they call it Homecoming, and it's usually the one that you're at home for. So the game is played on your own field. And so all that week leading up to the game, there are sort of social days where you're allowed to dress up in certain themes. And then there's a dance and a party at the end of the football game. It's supposed to be some sort, it's kind of in a way like one of the social dances of the old times. Sort of get together, have a date type of thing. You vote who is a homecoming queen and king and who's on the court and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of popularity contest as well. Supposed to show school pride, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's very much centered around sort of the idea of school, having pride in your school, socializing, and the football team, and the cheerleaders. That's generally the vibe. It's like a mini prom, kind of. So Nikki is here. Hello, welcome. Alexis is here. Hello. And Pendra says, I have a bad mock bad cover mock-up on your Nano projects page. Yeah, I wanted to do a little bit better than I did last year, which was last year was not good. Hannah says, working on more planning for Nano. Love the idea of coming up with some cover ideas in Canva though. Yeah, they have a lot of templates to work from. So I was kind of surprised and excited to see that. Also good ideas for later. So Megan is here. Hello. Yes. Okay. So we're back to the options. Yay. So let's see. Yes, U.S. event for high school and college where there are themes to dress up, pep rallies, parades, and dance with king and queen and escorts. Fall prom, only less formal. Yeah. You were wondering if it was kind of like prom, but yeah, kind of. So homecoming is usually at your school, and it is decorated with whatever the students bring and the teachers bring. So a lot of the cost is shared a little bit more, whereas prom is usually you rent a venue, which can cost a crap ton of money. You pay for a photographer rather than having the journalist or yearbook teacher take photos along with the yearbook kids. So prom is a lot more expensive, a lot more formal, and usually off-site. So Jordan, hello. Lauren has got me addicted to coffee. Well, I think I was already addicted to coffee. I'm 1000% sure that teaching did that, because teaching is, you need a lot of caffeine to teach, or be a student, one or the other. And so, yeah, caffeine is necessary. So Lizzie says, yes, homecoming is 1 week during fall and prom is usually in the spring at the end of the year. Yes. Yep. It's kind of interesting how even with schooling and stuff, you have sort of those seasonal events that are sort of like social, flirty dance type of vibes. And so it's kind of like a lot of the fertility festivities around the equinoxes. So, but you didn't hear that from me because, a lot of the super conservative Christian teachers and principals would have a fit if you pointed that out. So Lizzie says it's the Kate and Abby show on YouTube. Ah, okay. Gotcha. How is everybody? It's Jordan from the Blind World. You just wanted to know how your favorite people in the writing community are doing. I am doing good. I am slightly stressed that Nano starts a week from now. But yeah, how about you? They are on the committee, but they already decorated before the book started. Excellent. Okay, cool. So you've gotten past that point. Yes, the writing community. Penumbra says the first day of Nano is 25 hours long, thanks to the time change if you live in a country that does daylight savings. So yes, because we have the fall day back. Penumbra wants to know who wants to do a 1K every hour and get halfway through with the 25-hour day. Not me. Not me. Yes, absolutely. You've never gone to a football game, but you did go TYE game. What is TYE? You already made your book up cover. It's not the worst thing. Good. Good. Now you want to write a Where Chihuahua Draco fanfic. Well, go for it then. Have fun. Remember, they have to climb up on ladders to mark the tree border of their territory. They consider it an honor to hold the alpha's ladder. Well, it's not really like an official thing, but I was just like, oh yeah, that is kind of a thing that happens. So most of Arizona still gets 24 hours, yeah. And Hawaii. And I can't remember if Colorado is, well, I think they might be voting on it this year. I don't know. Anyway. Yes. So let's do some sprints. Do y'all want to go like straight into Pomodoro, or are y'all okay with starting with the 15? So 15 or 25, those are your choices. Alexa says, I meant the dance, not the game. Gotcha. I never really went to our high school football games. I went to a couple of my college football games for undergrad. And then I sold the rest of the tickets for some extra cash. And then I think my grad school, I didn't go to any games because I don't think we had a football team. I think we only had like a basketball team. Yeah. All right, so I see a Pomodoro followed by another Pomodoro. So we can do the 25s. But I have a new timer. We're not going to use the whole thing, but it's cute. I like it. I have a new timer. It is a full hour one in case you want to use it. But, yeah. Okay, are you going to behave for me? We will start at the 25 mark. Or the 25:04 because that's close enough. Alrighty, so make sure that you save your document if you have been working already, and make sure that you have something to hydrate with. We are going to get started for our first sprint for a Pomodoro length with our lovely new steampunk pocket watch timer. And we are getting started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, that was the end of that, apparently. Did I forget to put the chime in again? Maybe? Yes. Dang it. Oh well, that one's just a silent one then. Darn. But there it is. So that was the new little steampunk pocket watch timer. How did we do? I got 365 that time. So not great, but I had a little bit of trouble sort of figuring out where I wanted to start. So there's that. But I got 365, which is awesome. There. Now I have it written down so I won't forget. How'd y'all do? I saw a couple people popped in and said hello. There was some conversation. Let's see. I did put in the chat the writing tasks for the moon phase. We are currently in the waxing gibbous phase, headed towards the full moon. So focusing on lessons that your characters need to learn, and the creating an academic setting or learning environment for your characters if it's appropriate for your story. Developing your main characters' analytical thought processes and making sure that their leaps of logic are in fact logical rather than filled with fallacies. How their thought processes and ways of observing and interacting with the world change as they develop into a full rounded character. How they want to improve your sort of rate of improving for their relationships, for their mindset, for their career or their craft and skill levels, that kind of thing. So think about the pacing in regards to how you want them to improve. And focusing on the southeastern direction of your setting. So Jordan had a question. For those of us in the writing community, do we know what Braille is? And if so, what do we think about it? And what would life be like if you had to learn it or read it? And then you commented that when you say Braille, you mean dish Braille. I'm not entirely certain if, because the only Braille that I am familiar with is the sort of raised patterns of dots that are meant to be read by touch. I am not entirely sure if that's the same type of Braille that you are specifically meaning. I have seen it. I have touched it, like on like a book of, not just what you see on like the restroom panels or whatnot. But so I have a friend who has essentially a hole in her retina. And so she cannot see through the center of her vision. She only has peripheral vision, and that is very, very bad. And so when she learned Braille initially because the doctors told her that her vision would continue to deteriorate, and she would be completely blind at some point in her life. But because the rate of deterioration was slow, even though they started teaching her to read later because they were trying to figure out what the problem with her eyes were. And then she initially started reading Braille, but when it became time for her to go to school, her parents were having to try and decide whether or not they wanted to send her to a school specifically for visually impaired students or send her to regular public school. And they decided to send her to regular public school, and then they had to make the further decision, continue with Braille or teach her how to read normally. And they asked her which she would prefer, and she said she wanted to be normal, like all the other kids. And so she learn to read by sight, which she could. So she still has some skill in learning Braille, or in reading Braille. And so she brought us some books to see and read and sort of like feel and whatnot. And it was very interesting, but I think that at this point, if I had to learn it, it would be tough, because the older you get, the harder it is to learn a new language. And that would essentially be a foreign language that you would have to learn to read and write. So it would be very difficult, I think. It would be useful in case my eyesight ever did completely go kaput. But yeah, I think it would be very difficult. But I also think it's really hard to get your hands on something that's actually Braille nowadays, because a lot of times now people are preferring the text-to-speech functions with smartphones and things. And so it's really hard to get your hands on a like physical Braille book unless you special order it. I have seen more and more books with enlarged font for those who are less visually impaired than completely blind. So I don't know. I think it would be very hard to build up a library of Braille books without spending a ton of money. And I also don't know that I would read as much if I had to do it by touch rather than by sight. I don't know what the average like reading speed for Braille is, because you do have to read it tactilely. And so I would think that the speed would probably be a little bit slower than visual reading on average. I'm not sure. Celine says hello. And so that was the next couple of comments was me commenting to Jordan about Braille. Get Mad with Cad the Lad is here. Hello, welcome. Let me just go ahead and stop the share screen and make sure I can. There we go. Okay. Jenna is here. Hello. Sorry for the silence. I was trying to figure out what I was doing, where I was clicking, all of that. CB says, hello. I forgot the clocks changed this morning and screwed up the time. You are in bed reading and watching the MCU fanfic. You are not writing until Friday. Yeah, our clocks don't change until this coming Sunday, so that would be confusing. CB says, I've had too many late nights recently. That stops tonight. And curfew is now in place and will be enforced 11 p.m. Get Mad with Cad the Lad wants to rant into the void for a second and says, so you switched rooms with your siblings, so your room is a total mess on top of the numerous bad mental health days. You are not motivated to do anything. But of course, your sister and mom want to keep walking into your room and harassing you about how messy it is, as if you are clueless to the fact you know it's messy. Does your door have a lock? Could you ask them to knock before they enter? Yeah, I mean, I definitely can sympathize because my room is constantly a mess. I just, hide it. But, yeah, no, my parents are just used to it at this point. They're not going to change it. So Lizzie says, I keep telling myself I will plan more and then I never do. You started writing only to be bothered by your sister and you ranted. So basically nothing got done during that sprint. That is okay. There are more sprints. And if you need to take some time to just breathe, that is fine as well. Sarah says, in The Sims, you created your sleuth's extended family, most of which are suspects in this story. Nice. Didn't come up with any title, says Lizzie, but started a blog post about your thoughts on finishing your pen pal romance while having roadblocks. Yes. Megan took a much-needed shower, started researching apartments for your novel. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice to have all the apartment and rental property photos and whatnot. That way you can get a better idea of what the inside of a like mid-century modern house looks like, or like a 1900 turn of the century. Yeah, so it's really nice to have that a little bit more freely available now than it used to be. Hannah says, no writing yet, but you did finish reading some Junji Ito, so you are suitably weirded out. Yeah, mangas, there are certain mangas that will definitely do that. Jenna says, no writing yet. You did overtime for the day job this morning and then practiced ukulele while your desktop did updatey things. Shot a video that you will be posting later as well. Nice. CB read, I still laugh out loud every time you watch the part where Pepper says, I do anything and everything Mr. Stark asks, including occasionally taking out the trash. Yes, that is such a great line. Jenna says, and this week I decided to do a long fic for Nano. So excited. Yay! Junji Ito is great at creeping you out. Seconds get mad with Cad the Lad. Petra got 497. Nice! Hannah says, yes, that he is. Someone in the writing group you go to was a teacher at university and taught a young woman with vision loss who used a Braille machine. You thought it was pretty cool. I've not seen a Braille machine in person, but I have seen videos of it, and it is interesting. But I also sort of am like aware of the fact that, like all other machines, it would probably cost a fortune to fix or maintain if used greatly. So Pat just says, hey everyone, hello, welcome. The clocks changed for some portion of the world apparently, and I think for North America it changes this coming Sunday. So I apparently didn't realize that it does make sense. Kind of makes sense, but it's also weird. Yeah, some places change their clocks in early October, some in late October, and some in November. Yeah, I wish they would just like pick a day and do it, or choose a time and just stick with it. Like, enough of the changing of times. London says, my story is very much about the past and you are not sure if you got your timeline right. Write it down. Make an actual timeline. Lizzie says, Devin with the facts. Yes. All right. Are y'all interested in a 20 or a 25 for the next one, or 15? Either one. I have timers for those now. But I do not have funky timers. Share the screen. Megan says 25, so 25 it is. All right, so this will be our second sprint. So hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more done than I did the first time, because that was not a great first sprint for me, but sometimes that happens. So, you know. All right, so we are going with a 25-minute Pomodoro sprint with our tomato timers. And don't forget to save your document, which I have not done yet. So hit the save button. There we go. It is now saved. And make sure you have something to hydrate with. And we are getting started in, let me double check. I have it. That's what I wanted to double check. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That is the end of the second sprint. I'm going to pause this and make it small, I guess. Okay, so how do we do? I think I got another 300 or 400-ish. Is that right? So 4, yeah, somewhere around there. So I got distracted by the daylight savings question about when and how and why it was changed. And it seems like it was initially, in the US at least, it was initially put into play due to World War I. And then after World War I, the agrarian parts of the country protested because they lost some of the morning light. And so it went back to normal. And then with World War II, we were on daylight saving time the entire time during war. It was apparently known as war time. And then after World War II, states and towns were given the option to choose whether or not they used it. And so it was just like this huge hodgepodge of times all over the US. And then in 1966, I think, yes, so in 1966, the U.S. Created the Uniform Time Act, which said that if a state was going to use it, they had to use it uniformly across the whole state. They didn't have to use it, which is why I think both Arizona and Hawaii still don't use it. And then in like 73 to 75, they tried a year-round daylight savings experiment. Apparently did not go over well. And then ever since then, they have been slowly sort of expanding every couple of years the length of time that the daylight savings occurs. So they think, I guess they think if they do it slowly enough, people aren't going to notice when we go back to the full year-round thing, kind of like they're trying to do with schools. I don't know. But yeah, so Elizabeth had to go. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Yeah, there might have been something about the 9/11 time frame, but I think it was before then, because I think 2007. I don't know. It's, who knows. But yeah, that was where I was putting in all the things. So Lizzie has a question for us. You've been having the same sort of internal conflict that won't go away. You've been jealous of another author for a month, and then you feel bad because you feel jealous, especially when thinking of them and how far along they are in their publishing journey and how happy they are in it. Just sort of asking for advice on not feeling jealous or imposter syndrome, I think, is generally what this is sort of. So if you have any tips and tricks to avoid feeling jealous or feeling the imposter syndrome, please do put them in the chat, because it's not just Lizzie that needs that. Penumbra says, I honestly would rather we had daylight savings all year round, because in the winter you would rather have the light in the afternoon than in the morning. You get your kids at the bus stop at sunset, which is really annoying. Yes, so I definitely, as a student, like felt that for sure. But then I also know that when the roads ice over, it takes longer for the sunshine to melt it. So that was kind of like, I hated driving to work when the roads were icy. Hated it, because the entrance to our old neighborhood was a downward slope into a perpendicular, busier road from our neighborhood, and you had to pump your brakes at only the exact moment of time, otherwise you would spin out into that perpendicular road. It was terrifying. I hated it. So yeah. So I sort of mentioned to Lizzie, thinking about and analyzing exactly why you're jealous. If you're jealous about the progress in the publishing path, then perhaps the best thing to do would be to make an action plan and give yourself some due dates, some deadlines, and get onto the road of publishing yourself. Lizzie Penumbra had some other sort of advice. Seems like we all encounter that one author or author-tuber that makes us feel like an imposter and envious when we see their success through a filter. Yes, please don't forget that whatever you see here, like there's, you know, a basket of folded clothes that I haven't put up. There's books on the floor. You know, there is always perfect framing, lighting, all that kind of stuff. It's not real. Because that's how cameras work. Penumbra says, don't let the filter make you feel less. Yes, exactly. Feeling jealous of what they have. Yeah, so sometimes that jealousy, when we just feel the emotion, we kind of forget to stop and think about why, rather than just like I'm jealous of them, but why? Why are you jealous? Are you jealous of the numbers of followers they have, the potential for money through the social media platform? Are you jealous of the confidence on camera, or able to sort of speak to other people? So what exactly is it that you feel that you're lacking? And once you have figured that out, then you can put a plan into place and start building or gaining the things that you think you lack, if that's something that you decide that you want to do, because you may figure out that whatever it is that you think you're lacking, you're not actually, or that thing, that nebulous thing, whatever it is not really that important. So yeah. Jenna says, we all feel that sometimes. Focus on your own path. Nobody has the same path, and we all hit different stages at different times. Yes, and that's it. Also really important, because a lot of people will give you advice for traditional publishing or self-publishing, and the market is changing so fast that the advice that was given 5 years ago may not be applicable anymore. The advice that was given 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Now that we're in a pandemic, things are different. Now that web novels are becoming more acceptable, more easily read and found, that's another publishing path, avenue, etc. So, yeah, we're all blindly feeling in the dark, trying to figure out what we can and should be doing. So you are definitely not alone in that. So, yes, virtual hugs. Comparison sucks, for sure. I can't remember what the actual quote is, but it's something like 99% of the time, comparison will make you feel crappy. So, you know, we're all hunting for that time when we pick up a book and it's like pure trash. We're like, I could write better than that. And then you go and do better than that. But like the other 99 books you pick up, you're like, I wish I could. Yeah. So comparison sucks 99% of the time. So Penumbra says, to be honest, I belong to an author group on Twitter, and we've all been struggling since the pandemic started, while a few people seem to be the golden ones, and it's hard because we all know that we work just as hard. Yes. Sometimes luck plays into it. Sometimes people at the start of their life just rolled an extra luck amplifier, if you play the RPGs. Lizzie says, the person is a big inspiration for me and has encouraged me to write more, and you've looked up to them so much to the point you started wishing that you had what they had instead of them having what they have. Well, I mean, to be honest, like, I would love to have what Nora Roberts has, like, for sure. Yes, give me more than 200 books under my belt. Give me the house of my dreams, you know, like a money in the bank, all that kind of stuff. So jealousy and rivalry is a part of human nature, for sure. Not sure when the feeling will go away, but at least it isn't as bad as it was 2 weeks ago and you started disliking the person. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know who you're speaking of, and if you need to take a break from watching that person's content, do that. If I'm glad that you are feeling better about yourself than it was 2 weeks ago. But you got to remember that you are human. They're human. And sometimes it's just like stress of everything else. And you might be projecting. Who knows? But yeah, not usually a jealous person, but it still happens. Yeah, absolutely. Penumbra says, once upon a time we hunted game or gems or gold, and now we hunt recognition, reputation, and respect. Yes, I like that. Not the same things, but to our little lizard brain, the endorphins of success feel the same. Yes. And conversely, the perception of failure feels the same, even though it's an illusion. Yes. Sarah Keith built the house your sleuth shares with her sister. Say that 10 times fast. Megan did some more apartment hunting. It was fun, and then you ate some lunch. Yay! Penumbra got 372 words and laundry. Hey. Lizzie wrote more in a blog post. Excellent. Good. Nikki has been reading and playing a game on your phone. You don't know what's wrong with you. You haven't been in the mood to write lately. Well, you had a lot of stuff going on with your family recently. So a lot of times that stress, you just need to de-stress, and sometimes reading and escaping through reading or escaping through a game is the way that you deal. And that is one of the reasons I love to read, is because of the opportunity for escape. And then I usually, my computer games usually have monsters that I can bop. So Celine got 1,109 words. Dang. That is a lot. That is amazing. Jenna got 350 words. Nice. CB read some more Avengers, watching the MCU movies, fanfic. You love those. And you came up with an idea for a line in your Nano story. Tony doesn't share food. The 20th anniversary of 9/11 is next year. Has it really been 20 years? That just made me feel real old. Eva says it's already dark here by 6:30, and soon it'll be 5:30. Yeah. The roads stay icy for days where you live, so sunlight warming isn't so effective. Yeah, in that case, it doesn't really matter for you. So Lizzie says Alabama gets really dark during Central Standard Time. When we went there last year, it was pitch black by 4:30 p.m. Yeah, the winter time stinks, because when you're working a normal job, you get up in the dark and you leave and you go to work and it's still dark, and you come home in the dark. It's you never see the sunshine. The dark months is what you call them. Yeah. You hate having to come home from places in the dark. The winter before last, all the streetlights in your street went out. Oh no, and you had to get the council to come and fix them. Yeah. You call them the dark months for a different reason. Seasonal depression. Make sure you get that lamp, the one that does the UV. You get kind of jealous of people who have siblings because you're an only child. You don't understand most of the AuthorTube stuff, like StreamYard, Grammar, Scrivener, etc. I have an older brother. Sometimes it's worth being jealous over, but not always. Eva says, I'm going to be that person that says it's envy and not jealousy. Hannah says, you can have my brother. There are days when you can have mine too. But Lizzie says, the follower count could be it too. They have 1K subs and you were so happy for them until you weren't. You don't even care about having any followers or channels, so that jealousy makes no sense. Yeah, and a lot of times that's that perception that we have, that once they reach that 1K sub mark or whatever it is for the platform that you need, that they have made it big, and there's also, so there's lots of research about followers and endorphins and why that can be addictive. So if you need like some reassurance that that's your brain is functioning properly when it does that, you can read about that, because that is definitely a neuroscience based reaction. The earliest you will be publishing is 22 or 23. That's okay. You've got time to get it right then. I mean, the drafts, not the brain, because the brain is going to be what it is. Especially mine. Your stupid chancellor of the... I don't even know how to say that. I've read that like a million times in my life, but I've never actually said it out loud. Is it the exchequer? Weird. I don't think I've ever come across that word and had to say it out loud. That is, you know how you run across the words, you're like, I know what this word is. I've seen it a bajillion times, have no idea how to pronounce it. Just had one of those moments. Weird. Had the nerve to say that the musicians can retrain the other week. As what? It's fine if a musician is well educated, but if they're like you, Okay, so yes, you took a day break from watching them and unsubbed, and when they had their next live stream, you went back in a better mindset, but the feelings are still there. Sometimes a break is the best medicine. Focusing internally instead of externally can make goals seem more achievable, and the progress is easier to acknowledge. Yes, absolutely. Not writing just now because you need some headspace before the absolute insanity that is Nano. Yes, week vacation. You might need another break soon. You're still addicted to their vlogs and streams, but they don't have any streams until Thursday, so you hope you should be good. There you go. Eva says, I have 8 siblings, and I'm also envious of those with siblings, more comparable to an only child than one of 9. Gotcha. Yeah. CB says, people are so gross. They let their dogs do their business everywhere, and my carpets were really expensive. On your carpet? Oh, no. You carry a torch with you, your flashlight here in the U.S., in your coat pocket at all times. Packing food for your daughter to take to college for the week. She stays with the in-laws because they're good internet, but part of her ASD is food issues, so you send her meals. Be right back. There you go. Okay. You've got 5 siblings. One of your sisters is your best friend, and one of your brothers is an a-hole who needs to grow up. He's 40, and the rest are pretty great. Having a sib can be hit or miss. Yep. You love this nice therapy session. Yay. Being an only child can be a blessing and a curse. Yeah. All right. Well, shall we do another sprint? I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to do the 25. I would just skip the... Nope. Bum, bum, bum. If I can get to it. There we go. Okay. So, here we go. 25-minute Aurora Borealis, which I'm kind of excited about because one of the what do you call it? Where you look at the stars, observatories. There we go. One of the observatories in, I think, Alaska, is doing sort of like, they have, I'll see if I can find it, but they're doing the live streams of the sky for the Aurora Borealis. And I'm going to see if I can find that link because it's going to be fun to watch. Although I should probably figure out what dates would be the best to watch. But anyway, yes. Okay. So, oh, I put the first sprint back on. This is going to be the third. Hello. So we're going to go ahead and do the next sprint. Make sure you have saved your document. Make sure you have something to drink. I'm going to have to go get a refill of my water this time. But here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. How'd you do? How did we do? I am over 1,000 now, so yay. That's progress. So I'm having a little bit of a sort of like brain fart moment. So I've created this character, several characters, who I initially planned for this character to be inspired by the Knight of Pentacles. I hadn't drawn this particular card, but knowing what the card sort of meant, I was like, yes, this kind of fits. So the Knight of Pentacles is supposed to be in some ways like the other knights, very fiery and protective and whatnot, but with the influence of the Pentacles or the earth element, the Knight of Pentacles tends to be a little bit more like, all right, you go do war on the battlefront, I'm going to stay home and protect what's here. So it's a little bit more solid, a little bit more defensive, or sort of like focusing on defense and whatnot. So I have this character. I have this idea that he is going to essentially be helping some of the characters escape from prison but also like becoming imprisoned himself while in doing so, and then eventually being freed by the characters in this particular story. But I have another character that I essentially want to hook him up with, and that is the character that I'm going to be calling Allure, because let's see if I can find, not that one. I pulled a card that was a Cups card from this deck, and it looked like a lamprey sort of inspired mermaid. I was like, ooh, what if I had a character that this magician intended to sort of like lure in these other characters? Like, what kind of, here we go. It was the last card on my deck, of course. So I have her. But that means that the Knight of Pentacles, who I had intended to be a like bear shapeshifter, is going to have to be a type of bear that lives by the ocean. So there's that aspect of things. But then I pulled this card, and I got the idea that I want the Knight of Pentacles to make stained glass art. Out of like sea glass, essentially. And so that's what the lure character, the lamprey mermaid, finds partially attractive about him, is because he takes these broken pieces of things and he puts them together and makes art, and it's beautiful and all this other kind of stuff. So, but I don't know. So I pulled the Knight of Pentacles and I pulled the King of Pentacles because I hadn't pulled that card either. And I wound up with these two characters. So now I'm like, okay, well, which one do I want to take as my main inspiration? Because I have this whole thing where like the knight is going to be imprisoned, so that looks more like the image on the king. But I don't know. I had just intended it to be the knight, and so now I'm like, I don't know. So I might make a mishmash of. See if I can get my camera to focus again. Maybe. But yeah, so I don't know. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's just like a trying to figure out. There we go. Hello, focus. Hi. Trying to figure out which one I want to take as my main inspiration. Sort of like, that's the kind of thing. So I think I'm at 11, no, where am I at? I'm at 1256 words thus far. So let's see. Ayane finished a chapter. Yay! And Megan and Laura were talking about how cute Laura's nephew is, because if you haven't watched her recent milwordy vlog, that is up, and you have a little FaceTime cameo of the nephew, and he's adorable. So Ayana finished a chapter, and Laura is feeling a few snowflakes, which is the first snow for Laura. Jenna says we had sleet earlier. The first snow that sticks usually comes around Thanksgiving. Here in Georgia, it's very hit or miss where I have lived. We did have some snow, I think in February, which is usually about when like the biggest winter storm hits. So yeah. CB says, I wrote about snow falling over New York City in the story that you finished this morning. Hey, snow on everybody's mind. Hannah says 612 words. Nice. Megan worked on the outline for your story. Excellent. Celine got 484 words. CB read some more fanfic of Iron Man 2 in eating treacle toffee, which is the first sugar you have had today. Good for you. And listening to the stream and music, which is Living on a Prayer, just finished. I have sugar in my coffee, always. I cannot do black coffee. Tamama miraculously got 195 on a blog post thing while watching a trash stream. Are you calling us trash? No kidding. Lizzie said, wrote a few more words, made a dumb choice of watching that AuthorTuber that makes you feel bad, and now you feel somehow your happiness didn't take this time. Well, there you go. It's just sometimes you need a break, and that's all that you need. You accidentally keep hitting the enter button. That happens too. Jenna says 350 words again. This is weird. Also did a bathroom run, took your vitamins, and threw together a quick lunch. Did you get 350 the last time? Like exactly? You're just apparently writing in 350 chunks, which is fine because it's still very good. CB says we have not had snow yet this year. Well, this year at all since January, or just like this season. So Hannah says, I don't remember the last time we had a good snow. We usually just get rain. Yeah, same. Same. I do remember living in Utah and we would get snow, and it was fun as a child. And then growing up in Georgia, I know it's not the same kind of snow because it's when we do get it, I mean. But yeah, so as an adult, I'm like, oh, shoveling. Oh, icy roads. Oh. So it's not like all snowball fights and igloos and all that. So yeah. Sledding. I miss sledding though. I never learned to snowboard or ski or any of that, but I had like my purple sled with the like neon yellow ropes. I could go down the hill on one of those for sure. That was fun. Till you accidentally hit a kid. Then it's not so fun. Anyway. All right. So it is 4:15. Do we want to do another 25? Or do we want to do a 15 and then another short one? So we have 45 minutes. So we could do a 25 and then maybe a 10. Or we could just do some longer ones. I don't know. Up to y'all. Devin says, you got to whack a troll on Natalie's stream. Wow. Good for you. Bad for the troll, but trolls shouldn't exist. So there you go. CB says, I hate snow. I figured. The snow in Michigan was choppy and crunchy, not the fun kind. The snow in Florida is non-existent. Pretty much. Nice troll whacking, Devin. A 25 and 10 votes, Megan. All right. So let's see if I can get... Let's pull this. A 25. We'll go back to the tomatoes. A 25. Alrighty, so this will be sprint number 4. And make sure that you save your document. Make sure that you have something to hydrate with. We're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, that was the end of that one. So we will do a short little, we'll try and do the 10-minute real quick after after this 5-minute break. So I will be putting in links to other sprints that are going on today. There are actually quite a few of them today. I think everybody's sort of feeling that like Nano is coming vibe. And so I do have quite a few links to pop in the chat. So there is that. I am sitting at 2,100. So that sprint was very, very good for me. I think I must have done some calculating wrong with one of the other sprints, but doing really good. So yeah, so I've passed the 2K mark for the stream, and I am very pleased about that. So yay. Megan reported that one of the neighbors was singing, was blasting 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, and it's stuck into Mama's head now, just like that. Wordful Writes is here. Hello, welcome. Tamama has a plot conundrum. The secondary character is the one discovering a major plot point and is worried that this discovery is taking away agency from the main character. Although Tamama can't think of a way that the main character would piece this together. I suggested maybe having the secondary character not have the authority to like approve a plan of action. So maybe the main character would have to be the one to have the say-so for that. But I'm not sure of the context of this discovery, so that might not work. Chandra is here. Hello, welcome. I just got a text message from the fam, so the microphone is probably all messed up now. Where were we? Hannah headed off, so thanks for joining us. And Lizzie says, tried to manage the blog design, but it won't let you anymore. Wonder if you changed it too many times. I don't know if there's like a limit of how much you can change it. Tamam says, secondary character is a semi-dad-ish figure who is going to be like, hey, you need to do X about this. So you guess you can make him wrong for the first time. Yep, you could. Toss the phone away so it's not near the microphone. Megan worked on your outline some more. You think you are ready for Nano. Yay! Tamama got 69 words. Nice. Jenna got 455. Excellent. Petra got through a scene and then switched to a new project. Yay! Trander is working on some social media posts. Those always take me forever. CB says, got to Iron Man 3, which is your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It is a good one. It is a fun one. All right, so I think I can go ahead and pop us over into a 5th sprint, which will be the final sprint. And this will be a 10-minute sprint just to kind of wind up. And while we are doing the sprint, I will be posting the links in the chat for the other streams. So that's what's going to happen. So let me pause this, make it small, and go to the 10-minute one. All right, so make sure, get big again. Make sure I am sharing. All right, so make sure you save your document again. Make sure you have something to hydrate with. We're going to get started with the last one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Go! Okay, done with the sentence. Yay! Okay, so we'll just go ahead and X out of that one, and that, and that. So how'd you do? How was your overall? I am sitting at 2,403. Yes. So that feels pretty darn good. So I like that. I still have a little bit more work that I would like to do once I get off of the camera and, you know, walk around, take a stretch break, all of that. But I'm making good progress. I'm liking some of the ideas. I'm rejecting some other ideas that were possibilities. So it feels good. Feels very good. So, but I'm seeing like all the decisions I'm going to have to make, and I'm going to make them while I am writing, while I am drafting, because that's how I do. And I'm sure that I will write myself into a corner at some point, but that is life. That's what happens when you need to plant rather than plan everything. So, okay, so let me see what everybody's did, and then I will go back and I will talk about the stream links. So, Laura said, I was doing Sudoku, going to carve another pumpkin with your other sister tonight after the family video chat. Ooh, what are you going to carve into this one? We always, in our family, we tend to put marker, or usually marker, on the pumpkins. So we draw the faces on, because we always bake the pumpkins whole for pumpkin pie goodness. And we can't, it's not the same. Can't do that with a pumpkin that's been carved. So Laura says, telling you technical saves your sanity, staying connected to the family, so you're not in complete isolation living alone in a different country. Yeah, for sure. Technology has been wonderful in regards to staying connected to people this year with the Rona. I have had more video chats with some of my friends than I had during regular years, because we were all feeling the need to chat a bit more, and then like not being able to go out and do as much. Being able to video chat has been wonderful. Lizzie fiddled with the blog settings. Can't change the ugly gray color. Oh no. Can you switch to a different theme? Possibly. Chandra finished a post for your Patreon. Yay! I need to do that at some point. But not right now. London says, thank you for the live stream. I got 2 of your characters done. Yay! I think that means you only have about 3 left, which means if you're doing them 2 a day, like you've got plenty of time between now and and next Sunday. So you have time. Tamara researched dinner plans and then added a grand total of 9 words to this work in progress. Excellent. 9 words is good. When I went to go get some more water, which I also finished, I checked on the pork. I had put a pound of pulled pork, or not pulled pork, but it's pork loin that will be pulled pork. It's in the slow cooker, so it's going to be tasty. Megan says, I've been reading the news. Oh, that's always a mistake. It's as terrible as always. Yeah, exactly. I like staying informed, but I also am like, this is just a whole lot of not anything cheerful. CB says, got to the Rose Hill, Tennessee scene. Skipped a number of these stories because you really only like Iron Man. You can't stand the actor who plays him, though. No idea why. Maybe because he's not Robert Downey Jr. Petri got 75 words and a phone call down. Yay! Jenna, for the total session, got 1,361. Nice. A bloke gets tired of beans on toast. I'm sure. And I'm also sure that probably everybody else gets tired of the scented wind after the fact. All right, so as for the streams for today, Natalie started at 1, and Devin says that she's still going with Charlie, so that is there for some sprints and chats. Cachet, not sure if she was intending to do the Self-Care Sunday today or not, but I put the link to her channel in case, and if you need some Self-Care Sundays, there's always some replays for her channel. Sid is going to be doing a live writing stream at 6 tonight. These are all Eastern times, so bear that in mind. So an hour from now, Sid will be streaming. Kelly Wright has Spooks, Sprints, and the Supernatural at 7 p.m., so 2 hours from now. Also 2 hours from now, Autumn Ashley and Sarah Lubrat are streaming at 7 p.m. on Autumn's channel. The Word Nerds channel has a brainstorming bonanza at 7:30 p.m., so 2.5 hours from now. Sarah Sutton sometimes streams at 8 p.m. on Sundays. Not sure, I couldn't find a stream link for one that was scheduled for today, but there's her channel in case. Morgan Hazelwood has a character creation specific stream at 8 tonight, but has already started the afternoon sprinting stream. So thank you for that link, Devin, because I knew I was forgetting something. I knew it. I just knew I was forgetting one. So yes. Am I making teriyaki pulled pork? No. Essentially what we do is we put the pork loin in the small, it's the small crock pot that's about that big. So I put a pound of the pork loin, just the huge chunk, and then I put a can of chicken broth. And so that flavors it without being too spicy one way or the other, because my dad doesn't like a whole lot of sauces. I add sauce. But I usually just go with like whatever barbecue sauce we have in the fridge. Or I will have it plain, where I will then put it in rice and flavor it up. But I could do some teriyaki. Do I have any teriyaki sauce left? I will check. But yes, we generally make pulled pork out of it. I also cut some of the pork loin off to be pork chops, because, you know, that way I don't have to deal with the bone. That's one way to do it, is just like buy a half pork loin and cut it up into several chunks for pulled pork, and then a couple of slices for pork chops. Laura, killed off your pasta salad. You were starving. Well, I'm glad that you ate then. CB says, I think it's because the actor who plays Iron Man in this, because he reminds me of Shawn Michaels' former tag team partner, Marty Jannetty. I do not know who these people are. I am sorry. I have no visuals. You're welcome for the stream. You're welcome for the stream, and I set you free to go do whatever you wish to do, but don't forget to save your document before you leave your chair or wherever you were writing. All right. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, the weekdays 1 to 3, and Sundays 2 to 5. Bye.